Welcome back, guys, and today I'll be showing you the 5 easiest ways to make coins in EAFC. So if you're new around here and you need a team like mine, you are in the right place. And remember, guys, we're giving away 9 sets of FIFA points or copies of EAFC to 9 lucky winners. All you've got to do is subscribe and send me proof over on Instagram, and we'll be announcing that early in November. And as usual, guys, if you do need some coins in a bit of a quicker way, well, so if you guys are sick of losing in FIFA because your team isn't good enough or you're not good enough at the game, then right now you need to head over to skycoach.gg. Not only can they coach you in your weekend league or play your games for you, you can buy any amount of coins you want, and all of the services get 10% off right now with the code PRORECALL. Go check them out below. Make sure to click the link in the description, and let's get into it. So in at number 1, guys, we're going to be looking at the tips and tricks that you can just find on the menu, the little niggly bits that you may have missed where you can make some coins. Now, first of all, as part of that, we want to look at preview packs. Now, last year we kind of overlooked these. Me personally, I didn't open all of them. I probably did maybe 60%, and being that you've got the companion app and of course you've got the game, you should easily be able to open every single one. Now, this year I've already had 3 that have been profitable. We had day 1, I managed to get an inform and an 85. I've had Donnarumma as well, and I've had another one where I think I got an 86 or an 87 where the pack was just profitable. Now, what is good about preview packs is you don't have to pay for them. You get to see what's in it, and as I say, it's a preview pack. But the way you need to break it down to potentially look at it at a bit more of a lucrative option, if we go on here and, for example, I get 6,000 coins worth of a return. I mean, on this one here, I could probably get maybe 4 or 5, not quite 6, because 84s just aren't worth what they usually would be. I mean, you're looking at maybe 1 or 2k for him. With the rest of it, we're probably looking at 2 or 3k, so not quite 6k. But if you can get within 1,000 or 1,500 coins of that 7.5k, I would suggest opening it. If you're only going to lose 1,000 coins on the pack, open it so you get the next preview pack, because sometimes that second one is where you make bank. Personally, when I had Donnarumma the other day, it was the first one. But I've had other ones where you go for the first one, it's an okay pack, I've maybe got a shadow in there, so I sell that, I break even maybe. I open the next one, and all of a sudden I've got an inform or a high rated 88 or something like that. So it's definitely worth getting that first one open if it's close to the mark. Now, of course, the club section, somewhere you usually only go to look at your team, fail your evolutions, or potentially change your badge, you're going to have a ton of stuff in here that you just simply haven't sold. Now, I know not everyone will. You know, I've probably opened more packs than the next guy. But the reality is most of us just send our packs to club. We don't actually spend time quick selling bits, or we quick sell all of it. So if you're not one of the quick sell all of it people, you should have some stuff in here. So for me, I mean, Croatia badge, that's not going to go for anything. Marseille badge, that might, so it's worth having a look. If we have a look, are any of the badges compare priceable? No, they're not. So you kind of got to go and actually do it yourself. For example, I know City's going to have a value, so we're going to sell that. I know that this one might, so we'll sell that. And the worst case scenario, of course, is that you can just quick sell them afterwards. Now, what you may have noticed is they quick sell for 485 coins, but they are purchasable for 200. So what you can do is go take yourself onto the market. I mean, we could sell this for, if we pop this down to, so we can sell this for 200 coins. So if you take yourself over to the market, you can essentially go and buy badges for 200 or 350 coins, and you're going to make about 100 or 150 coins per badge. Now, of course, it does pay to know which badges are going to actually sell. You can see out of these ones, if they weren't untradeable, I've actually sort of shifted through these before. Madrid might, Fulham potentially, Juve, the rest of them I would just quick sell. Now, what you will find is you're going to find a similar situation if you go over to your kits as well. But as you can see, I've already waded through these and got rid of a lot. If we take it to the celebrations, that's where I haven't actually spent a lot of time. You can see I've got all of these that seemingly all are tradable, apart from that last one. So what you do, pick the one that you really like. I mean, this backflip does seem like a good way to annoy people, so I'm going to keep that and quick sell the rest. Scratch that, cradle swing is definitely the way to go. And the second way that you can obviously make coins on EAFC is one of the ones that a lot of people do use, and if you're a little bit knowledgeable, it is going to make you a ton, and that's investing. So as you can see on my transfer list, I've got an absolute ton of 84s here. A lot of these should have a value if an SBC comes out maybe with 83 or 84 as the rating requirement. Now, what you may notice is I don't actually have many of the higher rated cards as investments, because actually a lot of my investment cards have ended up going into SBCs that I've done through the game. As you can see, I've got Son, and that cost me a lot. Now, the reason I've got a lot of 84s and 83s and actually 82s as well is because I've actually packed a ton and I've sent them all to my transfer list, because I don't want to sell them now while they're just not really worth much. I can quick sell them and get a medium value for them. If I sell those 84s now, I might get 1 or 2k per card. And this isn't an investment where I've gone out and decided I'm going to invest in these players. I've packed them and decided they're not worth what they should be. I'm going to hold off buying them. But when you do investments in sort of maybe more of a detailed manner, what you might want to do, for example, is let's say we want an 86 investment. Let's go over to La Liga. We're going to go for German centre mid, and we're going to go for gold rare. Now, what this is going to bring us is going to be Gundogan and Cruz. So we've got 2 86s there, and if we go on Footbin, You can see that right now an 86 rated card is worth about 8 or 9,000 coins. Now this is actually a big increase on what they were worth around a week ago, because people know that there is a hero SBC coming. So now is probably the worst time to actually invest in these cards, because they've just had their rise. But it shows you that these cards do go up and down based on what people think is going to happen. So if you knew there was going to be a hero SBC, maybe you saw something on Twitter a week ago and you'd invested in these cards, you'd be absolutely laughing. So you have two options if you'd like to invest in these 86s now. Of course, doing it at the minute, it doesn't look like they're going to go up. The chances, potentially, if you were to buy one now on a snipe and maybe get it for 8,000 coins, you can potentially sell that for maybe 9.5 later on when the hero SBC comes out. Now, that is still going to be profit, and it's still going to be put you in a position where you've made coins. If I'd have got that one, we would have been absolutely laughing. But this is not the time to invest. With investments such as this, you want to be invested as soon as they are at their lowest, and you want to be selling them at their highest. And I know that sounds simple, it's obviously not. You don't know when these points are going to happen. But if you do see a lot on Twitter about an SBC coming, whether it be an icon or a hero, there's usually a general consensus of when that SBC is going to come. Tonight, there's supposedly going to be a hero SBC. This is coming out on Sunday, so you guys will probably know by the time you see this if that SBC has came out. So the best way to invest in these cards is to do it the second you hear about these, and especially when these crews and good ones, they're not going to go down below that kind of 5k mark. So when they get to 5 or 6k, if you've got 100k, maybe invest in a few, because you know they're not going to go lower, so it's a good point to do it. Now, another way you can invest is, of course, with SBCs, and the one we all know that's going to come each week is the marquee matchups. Now, of course, they did an international one this week, which is a little bit irrelevant in the investing front. It didn't really affect the market at all. However, on a week-by-week basis, you've usually got a general idea, potentially, of 8 teams that might be going into the marquee matchups. Usually it'll be bigger games, and it'll be teams that potentially they will use in marquee matchups often. Arsenal, Chelsea, City, Dortmund, Bayern, they come up quite a lot. Madrid, Barcelona, they're always going to use teams where they've got a selection of players that will rise based on the SBC. So if you can find out or manage to work out what those SBCs are going to contain, or an idea of what these teams may be, you can invest in some of their lower rated common cards or rare cards at a low cost. For example, if you've done it recently with some of the La Liga ones, you'd be absolutely laughing. Some of them were 500 coins, went to 5k. So you're investing really low at a point where you can't lose coins, and you're selling, absolutely making a fortune. So guys, in at number 3, we have SBC Trading. It's a little bit different to the investing we've talked about before. It's SBC Solution Trading. So with hybrid leagues, hybrid nations, and hybrid leagues and nations, that's an SBC you can currently solution trade with. You can also do it with marquee matchups, but not quite as well. The solution trading, essentially what you're going to do is head over to Footbin. You want to go over to the SBC section. You want to go active SBCs, and you want to be looking for, at the minute, hybrid leagues, hybrid nations, and hybrid league and nations. So you've got marquee matchups, which can be used sometimes for solution trading, and the way I'm going to explain it, hopefully you guys will understand how you can apply it to each SBC. But what you want to do is when there is a new SBC in the advanced section, that's where you're going to be able to use it. So at the minute, we've just got these 3. You've got the occasional use of marquee matchups, but what you're looking for is a player who is going to go up and down in value throughout a week based on their use in SBCs. So for example, if we go over to the most expensive one of the bunch, which at the minute looks like it's going to be hybrid leagues, we want to go to the most expensive SBC, which at the minute is going to be first 11, and you want to go for the community squad. So if we open this tab here, we're going to pop over here and let's have a look. So in this team here, I would suggest it would be Velasco, Mallorca, or potentially Tagliafico. So let's have a look at Tagliafico. He's 700 coins at the minute, so he's too low, so he's not going to work. Velasco, let's have a look at him. 350, not going to work. And once you get on Footbin, you're going to head over to the SBC section. You're going to go to active SBCs, and you're going to go for hybrid leagues, hybrid nations, or hybrid league and nations. Now, right now, these SBCs are not as popular, and unfortunately, that means that the SBC solution traded with these isn't as good as it was before. However, there is a few players that you can use, one of the ones being Edwards, the English guy from the Portuguese league. So what we're going to do is just have a look at Edwards here, because I know he's in a couple of the solutions. I know he's a card that will go up and down throughout a week. Now, right now, he's at the absolute minimum, which is 400 for a buy. You've got 3 there. There is, I suppose, a few more at the 500 mark, so you can see he has a little bit of a better value than most of the cards who are gold common, but essentially, he's on the lower end right now. Now, what you can do to win these cards is you could snipe him at 400 if you wish, or you can bid at 350, and you'll win most of those at the minute while his price is down. Then you wait for him to be found in a solution, and you sell up. So the chances are, if you buy a ton at 350, you might be able to sell them on for 600 or 700 coins later on in the week. You just got to check your phone, compare price it on the app, and you'll see when he rises. Next up, we've got mass bidding and sniping, and they are 4 and 5, but we're going to put them in together because they're both very similar, and they're the most commonly used methods for EAFC or FIFA to make coins. So this is the example filter. We got Gold Rare, we got French, we got Premier League, and Playstyles Plus only. So remember, you have to switch that on for this filter. And who we're left with is Varane and Diaby. Now you can see there, Diaby, there's one popped up at 30k. He's going for about 31 or 32. Realistically, on a snipe, what we've always got to remember is EA tax is going to be 5%. Now that's going to be with every trade in EAFC, but you're looking at a 5% that you need to work out. So on 30k, 10% is 3k, so we half that, it's 1.5. So essentially, we're looking at realistically going for around maybe 28,500, being that he was going for a little bit more than 30k, around the 31, 32 mark. So we're probably looking at around a 2k profit from this. Now, we wouldn't use this filter on a missed mass bid, and that's because it's a popular card. I mean, if we go to this mark here and have a look at both the cards, Varane is really popular. He's going to get sniped if one comes up. So is Diaby. When they're getting bids that are under what their actual value is, they're just going to go. People are just going to bid them up. There isn't really a chance that those cards are going to be able to be bidded and for you to get a sneaky bid in where no one's going to notice, because so many people are looking at those cards. They're such desirable cards for you kind of lower end good teams. So people are, Diaby, Varane, it just makes sense. Brilliant attacker, brilliant midfielder, French in the Prem with a play style. They're all going to be looked after. So in that scenario, you don't want to be bidded on them because it's very unlikely that they're going to be easily biddable. Back in the day, you could bid on a lot more of a variety of cards. I personally would say bidding is better for lower end filters right now. So sniping is brilliant for this. Sniping is brilliant on the lower end, but you can mass bid on a lot more of a volume of cards. So for example, if we want to do a mass bidding filter, we might choose this one. You've got Gold Rare, England, Prem, and Man City. You want to take off the Playstyle Plus for this one, and we're looking at Stones, we're looking at Grealish, and we're of course looking at Foden. Now what this means is, of course, all three of them 85 rated. Those cards have been pushed up a little bit because of the SBC that should be coming tonight. But what we can do is we can pop these on for maybe 4,000 coins as the max price, and you can just bid on every single card there. 2.1 as the minimum for, I think, all three of these. So you can bid on every single card that is here. If you have maybe 100k and you've got to bid 2k on every single one, that's 50 cards you can bid on. Now, I don't think you're going to win 50. You'll probably win 2 or 3. It will take you a very small amount of time to do those bids, and off those cards that you are going to get, you're going to double your coins on every single one. Now, if you can bid them up maybe to 3k or even 3.5, maybe you're going to need maybe 100 or 200k to bid on as many cards, you're going to win a much larger percentage, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 more, potentially into the 10s. And at that point, you're winning a higher percentage. You're getting a good profit off each of them, maybe 1,000 or 2,000 coins, and you're not having to do a lot for it. Bidding is very simple. You just go along, you pop your bid in, and that's it. And then you can go and look in the transfer targets and have a look at how the card is doing. But you don't really have to spend much time doing that. We can see here, I've been outbidded on 2.3, so I can bid it up to 2.4 or 2.3, and then we'll continue to go. Now, I know that Jack Grealish right now is selling for 4,800 coins, pretty much 5k. So I would only bid him to about 4k. At that point, we'd leave it because there's no point continuing up because you're either going to lose profit or you've bidded to what you could snipe anyway. Now, if you are new around here and you did enjoy the video, please drop a like down below and subscribe. We've still got the giveaway running, and I'm looking forward to 9 lucky winners of you guys getting some FIFA points and hopefully ingrading your teams, depending on what EA gives you in the packs. But make sure to subscribe, drop a like down below, and I'll see you tomorrow.